Hello everyone. This is Jonathan Rizal and I'm going to talk about 4-6 your 4.6 chapter 4 of your sejarah, penyerahan Sabah kepada Kerajaan British. A quick recap. Our entire chapter 4, we're talking about the events after World War II, after pendudukan Jepun. So we're talking a lot about how the British, they're coming back to influence Malaya. And we talked about 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, where we put an emphasis on Tanah Melayu. 4.4, 4.5, we put the emphasis on Sarawak. And finally, 4.6, 4.7, we're going to be discussing about Sabah. Okay, before we run through with this, the penyerahan means you give away something. So giving away Sabah kepada Kerajaan British, when we mention Sarawak was under the control of the Brooke family, Raja Puteh, the White Kings. So who are the current leaders, current people in charge of Sabah? If you do not remember this in your Form 3 sejarah, and it is your SBUB, Syarikat British Utara Borneo. Now, before we jump into why we had to give Sabah away, why would we not have the power located in the SBUB hands in this particular company, and why would we give it to the British government, you must understand the current situation we have. So if you look at your textbook, you'll see during the 28th of September 1945 all over to the 19th of October 1945, Sarawak bebas daripada kawalan tentera Jepun. And then 4.1, BMA, if you don't remember, let me put here 4.1, your British Malayan Administration, British Military Administration happened. And ketuanya for Sabah is your CFC McCaskey. Now, tujuannya, why do we have the BMA which failed? Adalah untuk mengembalikan keamanan, to return peace dan ketenteramaan dalam negeri. Now later on the 26th of June 1946, what happened? Syarikat Borneo Utara British SBUB menandatangani perjanjian dengan British untuk menyerahkan Sabah kepada kerajaan British, dan Sabah menjadi sebuah tanah jajahan British. Dan ketua kerajaan ialah Governor Sir Edward Twining. So, what I'm trying to explain to you is that on the 26th of June, SBUB decided to sign an agreement with the British lads. Like, hey, Sabah, it's now your colony. Now, our job is to find out why. Why did they do so? There are 3 reasons. Our faktor or sebab. The first reason, actually no. Although it's place like this, 1, 2, 3, I actually want to emphasize this first. Masalah kewangan SBUB. You will notice a pattern between Sarawak and Sabah, which is in the previous chapter we mentioned that your Charles Vinderbrook also mengalami masalah kewangan. Everyone does not have enough money after the Japanese. Okay, the Japanese wrecked a lot of their land, and thus they do not have enough money to prosperize their punya country, their punya negeri. So first and foremost, you see tentera Jepun, your Japanese soldiers memusnahkan Jesselton. Memusnahkan means to destroy. And if you don't know where Jesselton is, it is your current, we don't call it Jesselton anymore. Jesselton is the current Kota Kinabalu, and some other places like Kudat dan Sandakan. All of these places are very popular. They're gonna mention this a lot in the textbook, but if we were to pick these two, Kudat they've already mentioned before in your Form 3 punya sejarah bab 7, which is where your Mat Sato, he passed away here. So, tentera Jepun memusnahkan kawasan Sabah seperti Jesselton, Kudat dan Sandakan. So, what's the impact of this? Well, kos yang besar. Okay? Kos yang besar, that means that SBUB had to pay a large cost. Then SBUB, could they pay this particular cost? The answer is cancer? The answer is no. SBUB mengalami kekurangan trefa dana. Dana means what? Funds. Okay? So, that means that SBUB mengalami kekurangan dana dan SBUB tidak mampu membangunkan Sabah. SBUB 没有办法 tidak mempunyai any way, tidak mampu membangunkan to rebuild Sabah after the Japanese invasion. Okay, so that's your first point. No money. Japanese soldiers destroyed 3 locations. Jasutan Sanakan Kudat. A large cost. SBUB Pokai 没有钱. Next part. We're going to focus on why the British people want Sabah in the first place. So we know SBUB cannot afford to keep Sabah, but why do the British people want to take it from them? Well, number 1, kerana Sabah dapat memenuhi kepentingan British. How so? First and foremost, let's introduce a character, your PM of Britain, Perdana Menteri Britain, Clement Attlee. You've seen this name before, not as important, okay? So CA. Memberi kemerdekaan. Okay. Kemerdekaan means what? Freedom, independence kepada 3 locations. Sri Lanka, India, dan Burma. Now, if you don't know, we already mentioned this in your BAP 2, Nationalism BAP 2.3, your Nationalisme di Asia. Okay? So all you need to know is that these locations used to be under the British colony. They used to be tanah jajahan Britain, British. Tetapi, as you can see, your PM, Perdana Menteri, sudah memberikan kemerdekaan. Thus, they do not have as much land, as much of a colony to say. 没有地方可以，没有tanah jajahan了. They're running out of tanah jajahan. So, Sabah is their perfect ganti, dapat menggantikan the jajahan. How so? Because Sabah dapat mengekalkan sumber bahan mentah. Remember the Chappelle Rowan? Bahan mentah, everybody wants a piece of bahan mentah. And at the same time, your Sabah can work as a kawasan pasaran, for a marketplace for British items. Basically, the British are desperate, so they will take any location they can get. Any piece of land, 我要. Okay, that's your second point. To your next factor, the British need more tanah jajahan. And at the same time, with Sabah as a tanah jajahan, British dapat meneruskan dasar British, that means the British policy, dalam hubungan luar. Okay, see, if you do not know, SBUB is already a British company, and pemerintahan SBUB sebagai negeri naungan British. That means before SBUB handed over Sarawak, SBUB didn't rule this land, didn't rule Sabah as independently. It wasn't their own country. No, Sabah was still under naungan, which doesn't mean colony, but you're under the protection of British. So, when British fully takes over, when Britain can fully take over Sabah, British dapat menguasai perhubungan luar, the outside connections of Sabah dan pertahanan Sabah and the defense system of Sabah. To the next point. Sorry, there is no next point. I'm inventing my own points. If you look onto the side, they will tell you that penyerahan Sabah kepada British disebabkan oleh beberapa faktor seperti pemulihan prasarana akibat kemusnahan oleh tentera Jepun dan kepentingan British di Sabah. This is a rundown of what we're discussing right now. So, key points to take away. Number 1, SBUB mengalami masalah kewangan, no money. How come no money? Because your tentera Jepun sudah memusnahkan beberapa bandar like Jesutan Kuda and Sanakan. Of course, there are more places, but we put an emphasis on these locations because these are, like you can see, these are more bigger cities. And at the same time, your British are running out on tanah jajahan. They need more. They need to take back what they've lost. And Sabah is their gateway to do this. So, you've understood everything. This is all for 4.6. It's a very short chapter. 4.7, we're going to discuss about the reaksi. Reaksi is the reaction of the people. What do they think? What do the Sabahans think of the penyerahan Sabah kepada Kerajaan British? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.